Here's the thing. If you had to design a real-life mystery that feels like a crime drama, but with zero satisfying answers, the Nancy Guthrie case would be it. A grandmother kidnapped from her home, a ransom that might have saved her, a bloodstain left unguarded for hours, and a sheriff's department that seems to make mistakes straight out of a procedural's worst-case scenario episode. But here's the twist, this isn't TV. This is a family grieving, a community frustrated, and a legal system that might be about to face some very public accountability. So, could the Guthries actually sue Pima County? And if they did, would it even matter? Let's unpack this. First off, the basics. Nancy Guthrie, mother of today's show host Savannah Guthrie, was kidnapped in February. 6 months later, no suspects, no body, and a lot of unanswered questions. Now, lawsuits are political landmines. Even if the Guthries had the resources to buy a private jet and fly to a better jurisdiction, suing a county isn't about money, it's about forcing transparency. Mark Geragos, the lawyer who's built a career on high-profile chaos, thinks they've got a shot. But here's the reality check. Suing law enforcement for not doing enough is like trying to punch a cloud. Qualified immunity, that legal shield cops get, makes these cases nearly impossible unless you can prove intentional misconduct. So why even try? Because discovery, the phase where lawyers dig through every email, memo, and internal review, could expose the kind of systemic failures that make this case a cautionary tale for decades. And let's be honest, Savannah's a journalist. She knows the value of digging for the truth, even if the truth is buried under a mountain of paperwork. Now, the ransom notes. 2 of them, both dripping with that fake urgency kidnappers use to panic families. First deadline, February 5th. Second note, dated February 6th, claimed Nancy was dead. The Guthries were willing to pay. But what if they had paid? Would she still be alive? This is the kind of what-if that haunts families forever. And here's the kicker, law enforcement typically advises against ransoms. But if the FBI or sheriff's office told them not to pay, that advice isn't legally binding. Even if it was wrong, it's protected by that same qualified immunity. So the Guthries are stuck in this impossible triangle: blame themselves for paying, blame cops for not acting, or blame a system that prioritizes institutional protection over justice. But the real jaw-dropper. The blood on the porch. Nancy's blood. Evidence that could have pointed to the killer's entry point, the struggle, something. Instead, cops left it exposed for hours while reporters and delivery drivers trampled through. Let that sink in. A crime scene contaminated by a Domino's guy and a TikToker. And this wasn't just a rookie mistake, it came from the top. The sheriff's homicide chief, David Stivers, had already been reprimanded for poor judgment in another case. Promoted anyway. Because why? Oh, right. The sheriff, Chris Nanos, purged his own department of experienced detectives after a bitter election. Rival candidates' supporters. Gone. Critical voices. Silenced. So the Guthrie case isn't just about one family's tragedy, it's a symptom of a department that values loyalty over competence. Here's the broader pattern: when law enforcement fails, the people suffer, but the system rarely pays the price. Lawsuits like this, even if they fail, shine a light on the rot. They force conversations about accountability, qualified immunity, and why small-town politics can derail justice for national headlines. The Guthries might not need the money, but they, and the rest of us, deserve answers. And if suing Pima County is the only way to get them, maybe that's the real victory. Not in court, but in the court of public opinion. What do you think? Should families like the Guthries have more power to hold law enforcement accountable? Or is this just another case of no justice?